So 2019 is coming to an end, and this year there were a lot of smartphones that were released. But in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the smartphones that had the highest specs but a lower price. What's up guys, Poeteki here, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 best smartphones of 2019 that had very high specs but a lower price. So coming on the number 5 we have OnePlus 70. So it was a great smartphone, and if compared to some other flagships, it had a very lower price as compared to them and almost the same specs. So now let's take a look at its specs. So first of all, the camera. So it's got a triple camera setup on the back with a main, telephoto and an ultra wide lens. And on the front we've got a single camera with 16 megapixels and an aperture of f2.0. So now the display. So it's got a 6.55 inches full AMOLED display with a 90 Hz refresh rate, which is just awesome. If you play a lot of games on your mobile phone, then it's gonna be awesome because at 90 Hz everything just feels so smooth, just like butter. So talking about the processor, it's got a Snapdragon 855 Plus chipset, which is currently the best and the most powerful chipset available for any mobile phone right now. So it has 8GB of RAM, and now let's talk about the price. So it's priced around $599 in the US, which is not that low, but if you compare it to other flagships like iPhone 11 or 11 Pro or Note 10 Plus from Samsung, then they are always priced above $1,000. So it's good to have a phone that has a lower price but really good quality and very high specs. So coming on to the number 4, we have Asus Zenfone 6. So it was also a great smartphone with high specs but a really low price. So now let's take a look at its specs. First of all, the camera. So it's got a dual camera setup on the back that just flips up and becomes a selfie camera. So it's got a main camera sensor and an ultra wide sensor. So because the camera just flips over and becomes a selfie camera, so it means you're going to be getting the same quality photos from the selfie camera as you get from the rear camera. So that's great. Now the display. So it's got a 6.4 inch full HD plus display, but it's an IPS panel, which is not as good as an AMOLED panel, but it's good because it's a full HD plus display, so it's gonna be good. And it's got a Snapdragon 855 processor, which is really powerful and great. So it comes with 6GB or 8GB of RAM, and this phone has a 5000 mAh battery, and this phone also supports Quick Charge 4.0. Now talking about the price, it's priced around $499.99, which is like a really good price for these kind of specs. So coming on to number 3, we have Lenovo Z6 Pro. So this phone also has those really high specs but a lower price. Now let's take a look at its specs. First of all, the camera. So it has a quad camera setup on the back and a single camera on the front. Talking about its display, it has a 6.39 inches AMOLED panel and a Snapdragon 855 processor with 8GB of RAM. Talking about the battery, it has a 4000 mAh battery, and talking about its price, it's around like $450 to $460 in the US. And at number 2, we have Xiaomi Mi 9. So now let's take a look at its specs. It has a triple camera setup on the back and a single camera on the front. Talking about the display, it has a 6.39 inches AMOLED panel and a Snapdragon 855 processor with 6 or 8GB of RAM. Talking about the battery, it has a 3300 mAh battery, and its price is around $445. Its base model starts from here basically. So finally, number 1. So here we have Redmi K20 Pro or Xiaomi Mi 9T. So without wasting any time, let's take a look at its specs. So it has a triple camera setup on the back and a single pop-up camera on the front. It has a 6.4 inches AMOLED display, and it has Snapdragon 855 processor with 6 or 8GB of RAM and a 4000 mAh battery. So now let's talk about the price. So this phone is the cheapest phone on our list, which just costs you around $360, and for this price range you are getting some really hot specs here. So that's all for today, and these were the top 5 smartphones that had the best specs but a very low price. And I hope you liked the video, and if you do, then don't forget to hit that like button and to subscribe to the channel. For now, peace out.